Now let's dive into your database. Your database is actually your pipeline. It's the lifeline of your business. If you have no database, then you have no business. And this was said in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book by Gary Keller. If you don't know who he is, please look him up. He's pretty much like the Warren Buffett of real estate, right? So Gary Keller wrote this book a while ago, and it still holds true today. You have to have a database in order to actually have a business, because this is a people business, guys. This is a relationship business with people. So again, you need to have that database, because you can't remember, you can't memorize everything. We talked about that natural talent in the beginning. But at the end of the day, having a system, having a database will help you tremendously when you're trying to grow and scale your real estate business. If you are seeing a lot, if you're in a roller coaster business as of right now, or you're not producing at the level that you would like to, if you spend more time in this area, I, I promise you that you will grow your business. And you should be looking at your database pretty much every day, Monday through Friday. And I know a lot of agents that are experienced, they're rolling their eyes. They're like, oh, why, Monique? We're going to talk about that more in this section. But again, your data, the value of your database is this, is that your database, we call it AKA a data bank, guys. The value of your data bank is that if you build your data bank correctly, it will actually generate new repeat and referral business. It actually turns into a machine. It turns into like a waterfall machine of clients if you build it correctly. That's why it's important to continuously be in your database, build it. There's a number of things that you'll have to do that we're going to cover and touch bases on in this section in order for you to turn this into pretty much a lead generation machine of its own. But you have to, especially in the beginning, or if you're trying to ramp up or repivot or grow, you got to spend more time in this data bank. It will make a huge difference in terms of the growth of your business and your revenue as well. Because again, there are a lot of people that go out there and get their real estate license. You guys remember the statistics from the beginning. 82 to 87% of real people that get their real estate license today will be out of the business in a year or two. And I'm quite sure if we sat down and had a conversation with them, they did not have a database. And if they did have a database, I'm quite sure they was not working their database correctly, was not organized. There's certain things that they did not do properly that we're going to go over in this section right here. So again, we actually call our databases a data bank. If you build it correctly, that's essentially what it turns into. This essentially turns into a bank for you guys. Okay. Now, creating a database. Again, new agents, you're probably like, I've already done this, Monique, but give me 1 second right here. I want to explain this to the new agents, and then I'm going to talk to you as well, experienced agents. Now, make a list of everyone you know professionally and personally. And start thinking, I know some people probably like, okay, who should I reach out to, Monique? Who should I add to this list? Pretty much everybody. Who do you do business with? Who do you refer your business to? When there's other, like maybe your hairstylist, maybe, your attorney, those are individuals, maybe you have referred them business. You should add them to the list. And on the side, on the right-hand side, you see right here, there's essentially like a list. You can pause the video, you can zoom in. I will also drop this inside of the training as well, so you can download it. It's called Developing Your Sphere of Influence. So this will be a worksheet that you can actually pull, you can download, and you can use it to help you build out your list. Okay. Now, another trick you can do that I hear sometimes, and it does work if you do it right, is that you can actually use your cell phone. We have thousands of people in our cell phones, right? And we don't even have communications with all these people. So this is a good time to actually clean up your cell phone if you want to. You can actually go through each individual and give them a call and clear them out. Now, first, we're going to work on creating our database. I do not want you to call these people yet. Build out the database first. It's important that you follow the trainings and these steps in this particular order that I've created it, primarily because it's going to make sense. And especially once you get to the script section, because you're going to actually qualify these individuals. The goal should be to get to about 150 to 201 qualified relationships within 90 days. And that's the reason why you want to go ahead and kind of go through a list. If you have a lot of people, that's fine. you're more than likely, once you start qualifying them, you will get rid of some of these people. Because again, when you get to this section, when we talk about scripts, I'm going to show you how to qualify them. And once you do that, you're going to realize, oh, wow, these aren't some of these people that I have on my list actually don't qualify. So some people might actually have to get rid of. So this is why I'm encouraging experienced agents. I don't care how many people you have to do this exercise, even though I'm quite sure you've done it already. I want you to do this exercise and I want you to build this out. Because some people that you currently have in your database, I could put money on it. You're going to need, you didn't qualify them correctly, or they won't pass the qualification test that I will put you guys through during the script section. So you're going to have to get rid of them anyway. So do this exercise again. I understand if you're experienced, you know, that you may not want to do this. You can probably, I'm not going to say skip this section, but you can go ahead. You don't have to probably download the sheet, but maybe this sheet will help you dodge your memory of developing your sphere of influence. Some people that maybe you have missed. And then there are the next section, when we qualify these people, there will be some people that you actually start to realize, like, aha, you'll have an aha moment because you'll be like, wow, I never actually qualified them correctly. So that's why it's important to go ahead and still do this exercise. You may have a higher number than everybody else. Now, if you're a newer agent or you're repivoting your business because you haven't really built up a database correctly, that's totally fine. Go ahead and you should have that same goal to get to 150 to 201 individuals. Okay. And again, the goal will be to get to qualified relationships to at the very minimum 150 and above. And I'm going to explain why I have this number here very shortly, very, very, very soon. So no worries. Okay. All righty. So your sphere of influence is for newer agents or maybe experienced agents that maybe you haven't had a lot of production and you didn't fully understand what the SOI really means. So your SOI consists of all of your connections. This can include and should primarily include, I'll say this, is your friends, like your family, current and former associates, your previous clients, maybe from another industry, maybe you was in a different sales industry, or maybe just at your job that someone you used to work with. They were your client, you know, or you did business with when you were at your other company and they were at another company and you guys had a pretty good connection. And yes, these are individuals, like these connections are people that actually like you. Okay. Keep that in mind. You don't want to list a bunch of people that you actually don't really get along with, right? Or maybe you guys don't really like each other. I don't know. But again, you're going to have to qualify these people. So it is good to probably do more than 150 people, because once you qualify them, we're going to narrow it down. The list will be narrowed down, but the goal is to get to at least 150 minimum of qualified relationships. Now, again, you're going to get to that section fairly soon. Now, why you want to do your warm market initially. So this is for new agents, but also for experienced agents too, because I have had conversations with experienced agents and a lot of them haven't actually realized or made this connection or recognize this yet. Because your SOI, typically, these are people that already know you, they already like you, they already trust you, right? Now, you typically don't have to kind of break through that wall of trust with these individuals, because it's your warmer market. Your colder market, such as people that you've met on the internet, or let's say you've met them at an open house, maybe you met them out at a social event. They don't really know you yet. Those are typically more of your colder market until you qualify them and you build a relationship with them, and then they start to turn into more of your warmer market. And we would consider them more that SOI. So, but again, you want to start with your warmer market, and there are reasons, and I will explain that soon. And I will say that, especially when it comes to money, your warmer market typically it's free. It's free to reach those individuals. It's not always free with your colder market, and that goes to those online leads that I will be covering and talking about. All right, why 150 people? Now, every business has a turnover rate. And according to NAR estimates that the average person moves 1 out of every 5 years. So that means 1/5 of your database, or we can just say 20% of your database. That's 30 people moves each year. So if you do 150 qualified people, guys, 20% of those individuals, they tend to typically move, okay? So This is according to NAR. So that's 30 people. And if you did 30 transactions last year, you would actually be in the top 10% of real estate agents pretty much nationwide, guys. So keep that in mind. And if those people actually sold and then they actually also bought a house, that's 60 transactions a year. That's from only a list of 150 people. Think about that. The amount of people we have in our cell phones, the amount of people that we are connected to on social media, it's well over 150 people. So when I go through this exercise with agents, and this is not just new agents, I have the same problem sometimes with experienced agents. They cannot find or get 150 people, but they have 150 people in their cell phone and they're connected to on social media. So I don't buy that excuse. That's why I said, hey, go ahead and use your cell phone if you need to. Go ahead and jump on social media for these individuals if you need to. But what you will be collecting, and I apologize because I did not create a slide for this, but I'm going to go ahead and put a worksheet. I'll put a sheet in here for you to download on what you will be collecting. The goal is to collect, and you'll do this when you qualify, is to get their phone number, of course, their email, their mailing address. I know a lot of people are like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't think about that. Their mailing address. And I also encourage people to collect additional things such as like their birthday and also where they work. Now, that is, I'll say, I'm not going to say it's extra credit. That's definitely just taking things further in terms of building out that relationship. But it is good to collect that. But the main things you need to get, of course, is their first and their last name, obviously, right? You need their first name, their last name. You also need their phone number and their mailing address. Now, a lot of people have a hard time with getting their mailing address. So we're going to talk through, especially once we get to the scripts area, on how you can collect that mailing address without there being pushback. Because again, some people may have pushback when you're trying to collect that information. So initially, if you only have their first name, their last name, their phone number, and their email address, that is fine. When you qualify people in the script section, we will be collecting that mailing address as well. That will be your goal to add to this list. So this is the reason why you want to go ahead and start creating this list, getting it organized. And once you start qualifying them, you will see, okay, all right, I can collect that mailing address as well once you qualify them. So if you don't have their mailing address right now, that's fine. But eventually you will be collecting that mailing address, and you have to in order to complete or start working on the prospecting and the activity section. Okay.